Hi, my name's Jodi-Anne, and in this video we're going to explore the concept of what is an entanglement. So an entanglement is an enmeshment with another person that affects your ability to be yourself and do as you please. So you're so caught up with the other person, with their feelings and their thoughts, that you don't have a clear boundary or separation as to what's yours and what's theirs. So you're so focused on the other person and their welfare that you don't get to be fully present to your own life. And so the two people are entwined and tangled into one messy situation. And this commonly occurs when a child tries to take care of a parent. The child might sense the parent's pain or inability to cope with their life. So the child steps up to take responsibility to reduce the burden on the parent. So the child might start focusing on cleaning the house, on preparing the food, on just trying to make sure that the parent is okay, and to reduce any catalysts for fights if there's that kind of energy in the house as well. So this is a reversal of the orders of love, because parents are meant to give and children receive. But when we're entangled in this way, it's reversed. The child is giving energy to the parent, trying to look after the parent. And so children are meant to grow being able to focus on their own lives, on playing, on having fun, and doing age-appropriate things. So it's not normal for a child to be thinking about adult problems and trying to solve them. But children will do this out of loyalty and out of love and a desire to stay safe and keep their home. Because no matter how dysfunctional or painful a home is, children prefer to stay with their parents rather than be taken away into the unknown, even if that unknown might turn out to be a more loving home with other family members or foster parents. Our loyalty to our biological parents is huge, and it stays with us our whole life. If we violate that bond, if we judge or reject our parents, we will end up feeling a deep, deep loss, sadness, and emptiness within. And this occurs because the flow of love from the family line has been blocked. By refusing to accept our parents and our life as it is, we actually are saying no to life, and we suffer as a result of this refusal to accept what is. So the life force that potentially could flow to us from our ancestors, through our parents, through to us, and then on to our own children gets diminished because we say no to our parents, no to their love, no to receiving any energy or support from them if we judge and reject them. And just like this river in the picture is dried up and barren, that's how we become. So it might initially feel empowering to turn away from a parent, but eventually it leads us to be exhausted and to feel empty and lost. So when we do say that we are rejecting and turning away from a parent, we're saying, no, you're not good enough. I wanted more, or I wanted someone different to you, or something different from life. And this is fighting against what is. These are your parents, for better or worse. They gave you your life, and if that's all that they managed to give you, it's still a true gift. And so at the very least, we can try to accept that and be grateful for the gift of our life. As we heal, as we can let go of our own emotional pain, we can come to see our parents not just as parents, but as people with their own issues, challenges, and emotional hurts. And if we're still trying to fix them, change them, influence them, or get something from them that they're not able to give us, we're still entangled, and we're still caught up unhealthily, over-involved with their energy and trying to control life. And this is like standing in front of a dam that is cracking and trying to order the water to stay there, to not move. It's not going to work. As the dam cracks, the water is going to gush forth, because that's what water does, what gravity does. So your parents have their own lives to lead, and it's not our place to judge them or be overly involved in their business. To be entangled like this stops us from living our lives fully. So it's best, if we're able to accept our parents as they are, to say yes to life and yes to receiving whatever goodness that you can get from them, and to accept it if that's all that they can give you. So they might not be able to talk to you about emotional issues or the past. That might be too confronting for them. But maybe they can show you love by cooking you a meal, by calling you once in a blue moon. Some parents might be critical and criticize, but if you listen behind the criticism, sometimes that's their way of trying to make sure you stay safe and protected, because they don't want anything bad to happen to you. So they're hoping that they're pointing stuff out to you will protect you in the wider world. Try and find the goodness underneath. Certainly, you don't have to interact with anyone who is abusive or is disrespectful. But even if that's occurring, don't close your heart to them and reject them. Just energetically connect in. Connect in with their soul, with their heart's essence, to receive the goodness of life. And when you do that, you can say in your mind and in your heart, it was enough. What you can't give me, I'll get from elsewhere. Thank you, Mum. Thank you, Dad. You're enough. You've survived, you're alive, you're here. What you received was enough for you to do that, to cope, to get to where you are now. Thank them for that and accept what is. When we can say this and actually mean it, we are freed from the entanglement. And then we can receive that love, that strength and support from the family line. It can flow to us, help us and support us to live our lives more fully. Because we are accepting our place in the life and letting ourselves receive the goodness from our family line. But reaching that place of acceptance can be a long journey, because it does take time to grieve what could have been, to grieve what you felt should have been, and to accept what was and is. And this is the journey of life. It's true and authentic emotional release work until you do feel peaceful inside, accepting of your family and yourself. You could choose to stay in judgment and anger over what happened or what didn't happen in your life, but doing so just punishes you and limits you and your ability to live your life joyously. So it's best to untangle the web, to break free and accept what is and make the most out of your life. You can do it. So that is one form of entanglement that can have a massive impact on a person's life and what they experience. Another type of entanglement occurs when a child takes on a burden for the ancestors, present or ancient. It might be from this life where you have a sibling that's not well, and because of seeing your sibling suffering with a severe either handicap or severe illness, or even if they died an early death, then the child that remains can feel guilty for living. They can feel guilty and not want to actually do the things that their sibling missed out on. And they can feel this deep, deep loss and pain, and in a sense want to join the sibling because of their grief. If we do that, if we actually have that pain inside us and those loyalties and entanglements with someone who has died young or someone who's been very ill, it's going to adversely impact our health and our life, because we're actually saying no to life and no to goodness, abundance, health and vitality. We're saying I don't deserve this, or I have no right to this because the other person missed out. And this is self-sacrifice out of loyalty and love and the entanglement with the fate of the other person. But instead of dying or being ill, we can actually choose to live a full life. We can choose to stay longer, to live fully in honor of them as well as in honor of us. And so when we have that focus that we're going to live fully in honor of the other person, it helps us and it helps them because they want us to succeed. Our ancestors watch us and watch over us and want us to do well. So whether it was a sibling who died young, your parent, or even your own child, you don't have to follow them into the grave. You can heal your broken heart and live. So hold them in your heart, feel them, they're there. So their energy is available to you. They're still alive as a soul, as an energetic being. They just aren't here in the physical body any longer. Our ancestors will be caring for those that have passed and they're taken care of. And they're all watching over us, wishing us to do well, because we're the leading point of evolution for our family line. We're the ones that are here in a body and are able to consciously evolve and grow. So it's okay to feel your sadness and move through it so that you can come back to a state of peace and happiness. A third type of entanglement, which sounds a little more bizarre, can occur with past relatives whom we may not have even met. And so it's possible that a young woman having difficulties with infertility may actually be entangled with a great aunt that never married and hence didn't get to have children. So the energetic connection is such that the present soul put up their hand to relate to and to repeat an aspect of the past that occurred in the family history, so that it can be healed and that it can be grown and worked through. So a similar pattern can occur if members of the family in the past suffered a tragedy such as an untimely loss of a loved one, if there was murder or crime, if there was suicide, if someone in the family system was judged and excluded, then a present family member who is entangled, who is connected with that past ancestor, who at the soul level put their hand up and said, yes, I will relive that to clear it on behalf of everyone, then that current person may suffer a similar fate. So they may also have suicidal thoughts or tendencies and mental health issues, or they may have financial difficulties or other challenges in life similar to that past family member. Sometimes it's as if the current family member is atoning for the sins of the previous ancestor. They struggle to make up for the wrongdoing of the other. In different situations, it's as if the family member present today chooses the same fate out of love for the other and wanting to empathise with them. Either way, it's not helpful to the present person and it hinders their ability to live their life fully. But when we do the work to identify and release the entanglement, the person is freed to live their life how they like. They can consciously honour the past family member and their fate, but choose to be free of the entanglement now with love and respect, bowing to the ancestor, their fate and their difficulties, and leaving it with them. You no longer have to carry it on their behalf. This is core family constellations work, and it's beautiful to watch the resolutions occur and people being freed from these knots and entangled webs that have bound them and limited their ability to enjoy their lives. So if you are suffering with some challenge that you can't understand as to why it is happening, it doesn't seem to relate to your childhood, your experiences, perhaps you're entangled with a member of your family from the distant past. You can explore that with family constellations and see if it can be cleared and healed. And when the knots are untied, it's easier to walk forward and do what you want to do with your life. I hope you've enjoyed this video looking at entanglements and that it's got you thinking about some of the things that you've experienced in life. Many blessings. Bye.